how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay today, hanging in.
I'm doing great, you know.
I'm doing good.
I'm all right.
I'm living.
I'm pretty good.
I'm doing all right.
You know, I think there are multiple ways that people use that question. How are you is used in the United States as a way of saying hello, right? So you might be able to convey the same intention by just saying, hey, good to see you, which is, I literally will sometimes say that to people like, hey, good to see you, or nice to see you, or hope you're having a good day, rather than ask them this question, how are you? So I think it's very often used as just this way to greet people and to show friendliness. And then I think in other contexts it's used in a more literal way, which is, how are you doing for real?
I don't know. Fuck, man. Like, yeah, I need to, like, take my advice and, like, actually, like, this tells you I'm just still going through it, dude. Like, it's just so current, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Even me knowing, like, what I should do, how I should look at life and handle it, it's like, man, I still got a lot of practicing to do. Everybody does.
Do you feel like school helps your stress or it makes it worse?
Hell no, that shit fucks it up. That shit fucks it up big time. Cause I'm not like everybody else. I don't go home to the same lifestyle as a lot of other people. Everybody get to go home. It don't even gotta be a 2-parent household. Just go home to peace. I don't get to do that.
College students definitely, I think, are at risk, like, no matter what. I mean, shoot, we're told, like, at 18 we're supposed to pick a major and supposed to know exactly what we want to do in the next 4 years. And then, like, you get halfway through it and you realize, like, it's not what you want to do, so then you're back at square one. Money is a horrible thing to deal with at this time, considering, like, some of us can't balance a job and school, and, like, if you're an athlete as well. And family, like, not everyone's family is there for them, and, like, some people just don't get that, so.
In my experience, I've talked with students who have been open with me about their struggles, and then I talk with them about some kind of pathways towards solutions, and for some of them, talking with their families and getting support through a therapist or a doctor through their health insurance is not an option, because their families do not believe in the work of psychologists. They do not believe there's such a thing as mental health treatment. And so there are a lot of folks who are, you know, it's no fault of their own, but that's who their families are.
So I go home, I miss shit. I gotta deal with shit that grown people don't wanna deal with. And when I come back, it's nothing different. I still go through it. Then I gotta battle and juggle which at the moment is more important, my family or my schooling. And I feel like if you got a heart, you're gonna ultimately pick your family. In the academic parts, when it's not going up to par, it's not going the way you want it to, that does fuck your mental health up.
Shit. Mental health is the reason why I am who I am, why I do everything I do. It's affected every aspect of my life. Every decision, everything I've done in life is because of the trauma I've been through, because of the struggles. But it's, you know, the way that I've found to get out of those, I guess, moments in my life were just It's made me who I am today. It's made me appreciate what I appreciate. Love who I love, hate who I hate, avoid who I avoid, all the above.
One night I decided to try to take my own life, and I'm on medication for depression and anxiety, and I tried to like overdose on my medication, and thankfully it didn't work, obviously, because I'm still alive, but it was honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me, because I woke up the next morning, went and told my mom, went and told my brother, and they were heartbroken, just knowing that I could have taken away my brother, the privilege for him having a brother, my mom having a son, I could have taken that away. But I learned a lot from that, and I learned that I obviously have a second chance for a reason. I'm obviously in this world for a reason, so I want to try to make the most of it and try to be the best that I can be every day.
I think it's really, really, really important to be honest. I think it's always important to be honest. I can tell you that in the last few years I had someone close to me make a suicide attempt. And I'm a licensed mental health counselor. This is what I do for a living. And I did not ask them if they were thinking about suicide. I think I didn't do that because I was scared of their answer. I was scared that they would say yes. I learned a lot through that, and it's just so interesting because as a counselor on a college campus, I don't have a hard time asking college students that I work with because that's part of my job. But I found that in my personal life it was different. And so I have a lot of empathy for why it's difficult to have these conversations. We're scared to hear that somebody we love a lot is struggling so much that they're thinking about ending their life. And that's one of the most important things we can do is to have honest dialogue and ask those difficult questions.
Would you ever be open to talking to a professional or somebody at Joyner?
Not at all.
Why not?
I don't talk about shit. There's no need to. And the stuff that I have inside could have people think of me a different way, and I'm not letting that happen. I just rather understand that I'm dealing with the pain, and I'm either gonna hey, suck it up, or I'm gonna just get my emotions out behind closed doors, clean up, go outside, act like ain't nothing ever happened. People go through their own problems. Why would I put my problems on them?
As a group, people with mental health issues do not stand up and fight back. They are already vulnerable and they already fear stigma, and they don't fight back with the same vigor that kind of other groups of clients do.
I think sometimes it's access to resources, especially in rural parts of our state. There's fewer resources available to people. Sometimes there's economic barriers to getting resources, access to resources. So I think stigma and access to resources are the biggest two concerns.
It's just not talked about enough, and I feel like the more I talked about it, the more I found how many other people struggled with it, and the more I felt that I shared my story, it seemed to help other people, and people found comfort, feeling like they weren't alone.
At this day and age, you're gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna have to see it, and it's just too real. Too many people experience it, and then everybody just has that comfort of, I'm not alone. That's it. Everybody deals with this shit one way or another. You just don't know what it is. People don't see it for what it is.
It's just so much stuff that I wish I could do for people, and I feel like that affects it a lot. Like it's not about me, it's about everybody else. And I feel like I've done that for a very long time. And I never really got to go sit and understand yeah, I'm gonna do this for other people, but I gotta do it for me too.
And many people are suffering from depression and loneliness. But what's really important is that we need to make the connection with others. We need to have conversations because we're all in this together and we can get through this. When you share and you talk to someone, then you'll realize that somebody else is going through this too. And I tell people we're all in this together. So we have to feel comfortable having open, honest, and direct conversations with one another. That's the key.
I'm from a super small town, and I always knew I was a lesbian and, you know, felt like I had to be perfect at everything. And so I had to be like super closeted, and that was obviously very bad for my mental health. And even when I came out, the depression and anxiety was still there. And I was a Division I athlete, and throughout my college soccer career was definitely the most depressed I ever was in my life. I did not want to be like alive. If I wasn't open about, you know, how I was feeling, I don't think I would be here today. And if I didn't stick up for myself and say like, hey, I really do want to be here, and I do think I like deserve to stick around. Like I said, I don't think I would be here, and I'm grateful that I did that for myself, you know.
It took me a while to actually like reach out for help and like talk to someone, but definitely like once you get comfortable enough talking to someone who's like an outside source kind of definitely helps. Writing in a journal about everything you feel is a really good way to like process what you feel. And then also exercise, for sure. That's helped me a lot, like calm down and things like that.
There are a couple of things that research has showed us are very powerful in terms of sustaining well-being. If we can get outside by a tree, on a path, in a park, research shows that blood pressure goes down, heart rate goes down, the level of stress hormones called corticosteroids goes down whenever we're outside.
Being a college athlete really wore me out. I was exhausted, I was burnt out, and so learning to have a good relationship with working out again, because exercise is really good for like, you know, getting your brain going, endorphins, all that. It is true. It helps. It's not a cliche.
Healthy ways of coping are to practice mindfulness, getting exercise, good self-care like basic nutrition and, you know, eating healthy foods, drinking plenty of water, making sure you get plenty of sleep. That's so important. Connecting and socializing are a really important part of how we can cope. Also things, you know, I think I might have mentioned meditation, mindfulness, yoga, therapy, seeing a counselor. Those are really healthy ways.
Always stay present. That's one of my favorite tattoos I have on my body. It literally just says, just be here now. People get too caught up in the world and what's, you know, what could happen, what might happen, what has happened, and the only thing that literally matters is what you're doing in the exact moment that you're in. I mean, that's literally just keeping that mindset and just being able to just take it on currently. It makes life 10 times easier. You just see everything for what it is, be able to just be present.
I describe myself as like super interesting, and like people ask me why, and like my brain like is fucked up. Like I know that. Like I have issues. Like I'm well aware, but like I also get up every day and like I have depression and anxiety, and like I get out of bed. Like that's super badass and cool. And so like I have this gift of like being really good at art. So I take a lot of my emotions and I create art. So, you know, making sure I'm using that to the best of my ability.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say final thoughts are that suffering and struggling, these are normal things. Being human, struggling and suffering, it's a part of being human. And it doesn't make us weird or problematic that we struggle and that we hurt and that we need support. And so to normalize that human experience, I think is really important. The last thing I would say is that the research that has looked at like when are people happiest in their life, it often gets better as you get older. So for young people especially, it's kind of like, you know, this is a hard time. Hang on, hang in. It does get a bit easier. And even though life gets more complicated, you get more certain of yourself and you deepen your community ties and it can get better.
Not sound like super corny or anything, but it really does get better.
Talk to somebody. It's important.
The best thing to do is just like get help when you know you need it.
Like make sure you prioritize yourself above all things.
Don't be ashamed to ask for help.
It's one thing that I've always like thought about is it's okay to not be okay.
It's okay to not be okay.
Try to approach things with good faith.
Take things day by day.
We'll find a way through it.
Hi Pacers, it's Phantom here. Sometimes it can be tough. I've had my moments out there in the field, but all you gotta do is take a breath, some water, and take a moment to reflect and be present. And after you take in your 5 senses, regroup and keep on going. Keep on pacing, Pacers. I'm with you.